So
And
3 million truck drivers, what kind of job they are looking for in your future?
right, um, what you see already in a small scale in Tokyo, I think that is something that will also happen with a lot of truck drivers. Um, that means that truck drivers will be reallocated to the more fine distribution, um, so that they will go from hauling their load over long distances from A to B by doing the final distribution. So picking up the loads from the big trucks in distribution centers and bringing that to supermarkets inside the cities and things like that. So that is something that will, I think that, I mean, that is the next step for most truck drivers. So they will just drive smaller trucks, drive smaller distances, and do the more fine distribution. Because that's probably not going to be taken over by computers anytime soon. But sure, that will lead to a reduction in employment in the transportation sector.
Mm. Okay, by the way, one more thing I'm curious recently observing supermarket employees.
Hmm.
And recently you can see any Chinese and all employees are Vietnamese.
Oh,
Did you
really?
recognize that? So
Okay,
my simple
I didn't
question,
notice that.
so those Chinese, where they have been, they have gone.
Maybe they have gone home. I would reckon that I
The
would
sort of
reckon
very
that.
similar thing, okay. My question is society and social system is changing rapidly, like you know, sort of things is happening recently, past 3 to 5 years. From now on, we have more bigger change. And just video shows that the populist coming in, he said unemployment and he said inequality. And we know that they cannot solve the issues, right?
Right.
So this kind of issues, even if Italy says that, Pakistan movement, they say that, but 1 or 2 years later, this they're telling a lie. They cannot change anything at all,
Well,
right?
but that's the thing. So basically, the whole five-star movement, they are starting from the premise that they are just going to say no. But so their policy is not to solve problems. Their
Exactly,
policy
exactly.
to criticize and drive out the bad politicians. But they don't have any solutions,
I agree.
because there are no solutions. I mean, okay, one solution would be more inclusive growth. I think that a very drastic tax system where
Hmm.
we are going to leverage taxes on companies like Amazon and Google and all those companies that are killing a lot of jobs. If we are going to tax them very highly and make sure that the people who lose their jobs can be repurposed in a meaningful way, that would be a solution. But who's going to propose that? Because if that happens, that basically, I mean, Google is going to change their headquarters before you can say Tuesday, and the same will happen with Amazon and what have you. So uh, inclusive growth is going to be very difficult because the way that we have globalized and we have stabilized our business. But I think that's the only solution that we that, that that there is. So if we are forgetting, if we just giving the hands, well, what the truck driver was saying is that basically those people are just better educated. They have more means and they're taking control over the country. And what Trump is doing is he's giving the country back to the people. Um, that's the idea that he's been selling. But Trump cannot go without. Facebook. You cannot go without Google or Amazon or with the Silicon Valley as a whole. He will need to do something more and try to actually bring some of that enormous wealth back to the people in the United States.
You mean back to the people in the United States? What do you mean? Back to people?
Well, back to the people in the United States, I mean that basically this technology, it's killing jobs. It's taking away money from the regular worker, from the regular truck driver, from the regular shop staff. But it's also creating enormous incomes for the likes of Jeff Bezos and what's the other guy from Facebook and Google and the Sergey Brin and Larry Page. And so these people, they make enormous amounts of money. They used to be the heroes of the United States because, they exemplified the American dream and what they're doing. Actually, I mean, the technology like Google enabled people to all of a sudden have access to all the information in the world. That you can carry it in your pocket. It's so enormously powerful. It's so enormously enabling that that's a good thing. But they were very well rewarded for their inventions. And while they were rewarded, a lot of other people lost their jobs. And I think that the solution is there. I mean, wealth was added value was created, but it only flowed in the pockets of very few.
You're talking about Google and Facebook. What they're going to do? They got a lot of money they have.
Yes.
What do you say?
So what I'm saying is that these kind of companies, they contribute to growth in the United States, but the profits, the benefits of their efforts has only benefited, like the financial benefits have only benefited a handful of people. If you compare it with the jobs that are now being lost because of work of these companies like Amazon and other technology firms. You see Uber now is creating the driverless truck that is so that's gonna reduce emissions. That's going to reduce the number of accidents with trucks. The real thing was what it's going to reduce is the number of truck drivers needed to bring your cargo from A to B. And that's good news for Uber because they can make money selling their driverless trucks to people who need transportation. But at the same time, it's very bad news for truck drivers. So if we are just going to allow that to happen, then what happens is that basically the truck drivers will be the victims. So what needs to happen is that the money that is being made needs to flow back into the United States to support the people who have been negatively affected.
You're talking about basic income?
I'm talking about basic income. I'm talking about taxes that actually helps to create opportunities for people to.
You are talking about
themselves.
the shared profit distribution.
Yeah.
But this is not easy.
It's not easy, and because the reason is why it's not so easy is because we live in a globalized world, and multinational companies like Uber, they will leave the United States very quickly if such a severe tax law will be introduced. It's become too easy to avoid taxes nowadays. But the problem is basically the same in the United States as it is in Africa, as we saw last Saturday. And we're looking at Zambia. There's the same problem.
Yeah, actually, they don't pay tax in Zambia.
Right.
You said the agribusiness pay tax. No, they don't. They try to move headquarters to Mauritius, so they don't pay tax, right?
Exactly, and the same is true for these very large corporations. They're
Yeah, Amazon is the same. They don't pay tax in Japan. They
right.
don't have
They
office
don't,
in.
they don't pay tax in because they keep their profits incredibly low. Their profit margins are very low, and thereby they're not paying taxes. So, okay, where's the benefit for the public, other than the people who use their services, who pay premium prices for Amazon products, groceries to be delivered to their home? Yeah, sure, they benefit. But if we look at the bigger picture, this will have severe consequences for people with lower education who are working in the supermarkets at the moment.
This is a difficult decision to make, right?
Right.
Because populism easily to turn out to be Orwellian approach.
Right.
George Orwell.
Well, right. So what populism is doing is actually saying, okay, they're finding a common enemy, usually the politicians, and they say, okay, we want to give the regular people, your country back. So that is that's basically the election promise from Donald Trump, America first again. That's his message. Now, whether he can do that, that's the second. But people realize that if things continue like the way that they are continuing with technological developments, with the trade imbalance with China, with the trade imbalance with a lot of other countries in the world, I mean, it's very easy to say, well, screw it. The conventional solutions have not worked. It's time for something more radical. And that leads to a lot of populist leaders taking control over countries that don't have that history. I mean, we have populist leaders in almost everywhere. In France, in Netherlands, in Italy, in those. Even the United States, I mean, this is kind of unheard of. People are really giving up and saying, okay, well, I don't care how it happens, but what the conventional politics has done for us is nothing. So let's try unconventional politics for each other.
Yeah, that's a very good point we want to discuss anyway. But today's time is up, so I think you want to continue this discussion on this Saturday?
Yeah.
But still we have negotiation, right?
Right, yes.
Okay. So today time is up. You need to leave now, right?
Yes, I actually do. Thank you very much.
Okay, so good discussion. Okay, thank you very much for joining everybody.
All right.
And Takashi joined, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for today.
And you've also joined, no?
Yeah, Eva also joined. Okay.
All right. I will run now.
Okay. So see you.
Okay,
Bye bye.
thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.